for example, here in an outline of protocol for cryopreservation of the shoot tip. So how the shoot tips uh, will be conserved through a proper protocol of cryopreservation. Okay, and here comes an for example, the shoot tips in a frozen liquid nitrogen. First, you can use the shoot tips. Those shoot tips, for example, it will start from here. You can. This is, for example, let me. Okay, let me draw here. For example, this one. For example, if you look here, this is tissue culture medium. In the tissue culture medium, what you are going to do is this. They will be growing in the medium, solid medium, and then the shoots will be, shoot tips will be cultured in the tissue culture medium, and the shoot tips when they grow, they'll be taken from those callus, and they'll be pre-grown in the on the medium of DMSO. The DMSO is the dimethyl sulfoxide. It is a cryoprotectant. For example, there is a cryo injury, means if you are putting the for example tissue what is there in the room temperature, if you are putting them into a temperature of minus 196 degrees, so there will be cryo injury. To prevent that cryo injury, this cryoprotectant will be used in the culture medium. So they will put this cryoprotectant here with the tissue tip, and this is one cycle after protecting, keeping it here. So this shoot tip can be can be put into a liquid nitrogen, and so after this for example, after that later on it has to be brought back to the normal medium of 25 degrees. This is the one method. So here the duration is a longer duration. One can keep the shoot tip into liquid nitrogen to a longer duration, and or that can be another way is then these shoot tips can be frozen into a liquid nitrogen, uh, and after that this liquid nitrogen they'll be up to stored. There is a process called thawing. Thawing is a process where when there is in the frozen state, the frozen state needs to be brought to be a liquid or the normal state or the normal state. This is called as a thawing process. For example, it is in the frozen state that needs to be back at the this one. So these all things need to be done in the aseptic conditions. Means, for example, there should not be any microorganism, or there should not be any contamination of fungi, bacteria, or viruses. The strict hygienic protocol need to be maintained here. Okay, so you just remember DMSO, that is a cryoprotectant, and the liquid nitrogen, how it is used. And coming to here in the next slide, for example, here in case of techniques of cryopreservation, uh, development of sterile tissue culture is important. For example, this is very vital to prevent any these harmful fungi, bacteria entering into the medium and spoiling the cell cultures. And cryoprotectant and pre-treatment are vital. And storage thawing, for example, the before storage, that needs to be given a pre-treatment, and after taking out, this needs to be thawing. And reculture, after that it needs to be reculture for its survivability or its maintenance. And coming to the measurement of viability, for example, measurement of survivability or viability of the plant regeneration is the vital question after the cryopreservation. So these two things needs to be maintained, and there is a standard protocol for this survivability study and viability of plant generation. So this is a vital thing. This needs to be very strictly followed. because if anything goes wrong in this, you are not going to regenerate the plant. The purpose of cryopreservation will go waste. For example, here the what part plant part we use. For example, morphological part. What kind of things we use? We use meristems, means growing tips, or the embryos or the endosperm here we'll use, and ovule seeds we use for the culture, because each species gives a different response for this tissue culture. So whichever tissue gives a good response is used for the tissue culture. So that is a vital aspect here. And addition of cryoprotectant. The cryoprotectant are the compound that can prevent the damage of cells by by freezing or thawing. For example, if you are getting the temperature down at the minus 196 degrees and then bringing back to plus 25, there is an entire different state. The cell has to go through a very severe this one. For that, there are protectant like this DMSO, glycerol they use, ethylene they use, propylene they use, sucrose, mannose, glucose. There are different cryoprotectants based on the different needs. They use all this one. For example, if you look into the this tissue culture, different parts they use, and they use on the media, and then 99% pure DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide gel is used for the as a cryoprotectant. And freezing, this is there are different methods. There is a slow freezing, there is a rapid freezing, there is a stepwise freezing by means the temperature is goes down by a gradual way. And there is a dry freezing method. For example, this they will do it. For example, in general, the frozen tissues or the cells kept at the storage temperature, the range of minus 72 to minus 196. This is how liquid nitrogen to carbon minus, what example for the carbon dioxide, liquid carbon dioxide, or this one. The storage, this is very storage that is ideally done. Liquid nitrogen refrigerator at minus 150 degrees, and they will later on vapor phase will come to at the 150 it becomes a liquid, and later on vapor stage will be there at the minus 196 degree.
Sir, at 150 degrees Celsius.
Yes, 150 degree
Minus.
This is a vapor phase, or the there is a temperature goes down. For example, this is a minus, not plus 150. Okay, it's a minus 150, right? And then later on it becomes a liquid phase in minus 196. Okay, and see, this is how storage looks like, the technique. And then thawing, usually they carried out by plunging the frozen sample in the ampules or from the containers into a warm water. The warm temperature will be maintained around 35 to 45 degree hot bath water, where the swirling will be there, water will be moving. And by this approach, the rapid thawing, and at the rate of 500 to 750 degrees Celsius per minute. For example, this protect the cell from damaging. Many times what happens, there is ice crystal formation. Crystal formation will damage the plant tissues, plant walls, or the internal the mitochondria and other thing. That's a very important thing. And in case of as a thawing occurs, the ice completely melts. The ampules are quickly transferred to a water bath temperature of 20 to 25 degrees centigrade. And this transfer is necessary since the cells get damaged if left for longer in a warm condition. For example, 35 to 45 degree water bath, the metabolic rate increases, and then there will be a damage because reactive oxygen species will come and it will damage the cell itself. And reculture is this generally thawed germ plasma is washed several times to remove this cryoprotectant, and then material will be cultured in the fresh media. This is how a plant regeneration will be done by tissue culture. And this application of this, for example, several years this can be maintained. And this is a long-term storage is very vital if we are using for the minus 196 in a frozen state. And for example, then comes there is a classification of seeds. Probably you will be taught in the seed science and technology, the recalcitrant seed. This recalcitrant seeds can be maintained for a very long time of duration, and conservation of somaclonal and gametoclonal variation. This recalcitrant seeds, if please, it will be covered in the seed science and technology. One is recalcitrant seeds and non-recalcitrant seeds. Okay, and the plant material from the endangered species, can be conserved. For example, here many of the species that are about to endanger or they are at the danger can be used for the preservation in this cryopreservation method. So, for example, what happens in due process of this cryopreservation? Though many of these cell line culture will behave differently. For example, cold resistant mutant cell lines, which can develop into a frost resistant plant. For example, those areas in the Simlas and other thing where there is a snowfall is there, one can grow for the crops there. So that in the snow itself, one can grow the for example, different crops if there is a cold resistant mutant lines are available in that cell culture. And the many things is the major limitations. The major limitation is we need a good laboratory, a good trained person, and expensive equipments, and lot of money is involved in this process. If you go for the bigger scale, it needs a huge investment for this in vitro technology. So it's not possible for a common man or the single institute with lesser funding can't go for this germ plasma conservation, for example, cryopreservation. And another important aspect is this ice crystal formation inside the cell, is quite kind of tricky. It comes by the proper protocol and the timings by the technician to standardize the procedure to prevent this ice crystal formation. If anything goes wrong, then there will be a leakage from the cell and during the freezing, and then cells will be dead. There is no meaning of those protected cells. So the cryoprotectant should be effective. If cryoprotectant is not effective, the cells will die. So these are the vital thing, that is needed for this cryoprotection or the germ plasma conservation. So this is an important aspect of the conservation. And now I will just ask few questions for you people. And before asking the questions,